I find that a particularly hard song to sing because some of us don't love the bodies that we have. We don't love the bodies we were given, and it's hard to reconcile that with God. But this is what we're here for, to find our way and our path in God, and to understand that what we've got is work in progress, I think is the word that I'd like to use. Let's just have a moment of prayer. God, we are so in awe of you. We think we know you, we think we love you, but we have only a fraction of the love for you that you have for us. May we learn, may we open our hearts and our minds to what you have to say to us. And let us learn and grow with you and each other through this evening. Amen. Now, we have an activity that requires you to be in pairs. So, just turn and face someone behind you or next to you. And if there is nobody behind you or next to you, then somebody will come and join you. Is somebody out back? Is Geraint out back? Because we are an odd number. Or maybe we could borrow David. David, could we borrow you? Could you go? We need pairs. Could you go with Andy? Because Andy doesn't have a pair. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Who is it? Rachel?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Karen. Yes, so Rachel can sit with Karen then. Okay, so what I need one of you to do is close your eyes, because I'm going to show a picture, and the person who has their eyes open is going to describe that picture to you, okay? So I'm going to flash the picture up so that the person can see it. Please, if you're facing that way, don't just think you can keep your... Please don't think you can keep your eyes open if you're facing that way, because it will show up on that screen as well. Okay? So Rachel, sorry, I need you to sit next to Karen if that's okay, just for this moment. Thank you, just because we're doing pair stuff. So, make sure you have your eyes closed. Please describe this image and what it is to the person. I'm going to take it off the screen now. Right, go on.
Okay, it's a ornament. It's a circle with marble, like a marbly type surface with a circle cut out on the left-hand top corner in it, and it flips through it's a 3D thing, so it's not just, so the surfaces are curved around. You could pick it up. It'd probably go on a mantelpiece or something like that. It's not. No, it's not.
Okay, I'm just going to do one more thing. So the people who have their eyes closed, can you close them again? So the people who have their eyes open, I'm just going to show you. Oh, hang on a second. Whoa. No? That. Okay, does that change how you describe it? Okay, so it's the same thing. I can't take it off because it's now being a pain. Okay, carry on.
It's see-through with speckles on it, and you can have a light in it which can turn on and off. So you can, like a glass bowl, but circular.
Oh, so flat circular.
It's like a football,
okay,
but it's not. It's like a 2D football.
Okay.
And if you could just bring your discussion to a close.
The lampshade.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let.
Okay. So I'm just going to stop you there. Okay. So for those of you who had your eyes closed, the first image that I showed was this one.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's what the image that was described to you or not. But then the second image I showed was that. So people who were describing, did the second image help?
No.
Not at all.
It didn't help, but it made me think more about which colours were in both images, which I hadn't described at the start.
Okay.
To me, it didn't have to act as though the second image to be in fact like it's flat, whereas the first one I described it as a kind of a rounded 3D image.
Okay.
To me, it was flat like this.
So what is it?
It's a light.
It's a lamp. Hence it's not on, and now it's been turned on. Believe me, I really struggled to find a lamp that did not look like a lamp for you on the internet. And I was hoping that the second image, for goodness sake, the second image would have helped you realise that it was a lamp and that there was now a light in it. Clearly, that didn't help. So I'm pleased that activity went so well. What I was trying to do was to give you the idea that something may not look the same until you shine a light on it, or until a light it comes from within. If I was really prepared, I'd have had a lamp just like that, and I would have had it here, and I would have turned it on and turned it off at moments during the service, but that was just too technical, I think. This evening we're going to talk about the Transfiguration. First looking at Moses' story from Exodus, and then secondly looking at the story of the Transfiguration of Jesus through Bible readings and some video clips. So I haven't prepared anybody to do any readings because I was travelling back from Cornwall, in case you hadn't realised. But the first reading is here. If anybody does just randomly want to volunteer to do one of them, Sammy will. Marvellous, thank you, Sammy. So if Sammy, you can read this one. So this is, well, Sammy, you introduce.
Exodus 34:29 to 35. Moses came down from Mount Sinai. As he came down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the covenant in his hand, Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone because he had been talking with God. When Aaron and all the Israelites saw Moses, the skin of his face was shining, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them, and Aaron and the leaders of the congregation returned to him, and Moses spoke with them. Afterward, all the Israelites came near, and he gave them in commandment all that the Lord had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. When Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But whenever Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he would take the veil off until he came out. And when he came out and told the Israelites what he had been commanded, the Israelites would see the face of Moses, but the skin of his face was shining, and Moses would put the veil on his face again until he went in to speak with him.
Thank you, Sam. So I just have 2 video clips that I want to share with you, which I did not embed because that would have been far too difficult. So I don't know if anybody ever has seen this, but it's called God's Favourite Idiot. Has anyone seen it?
No.
No one's seen it? Oh, okay. I'm surprised. Okay. So I'm just going to play you 2 clips. So this is the first one.
Anyway, job, doesn't matter. I came in here, work, late last night, and went to grab my purse. Clark is sitting at his desk, where he always is, except he's glowing.
Glowing? What do you mean glowing?
Jesus. Glowing. He was actually literally glowing, like this from the inside, you know, this bright and soothing light. Clark was glowing.
Just the one?
Let's just stop it there. the next clip I'm going to show you is...
I ordered the chicken, but I did have a question, which is it on a rotisserie overnight, or is it just for a few hours and there's actually a question behind the question before you even answer the first question? I know, I'm sorry. But how crispy does the skin get? Because my father and I, we have Thursday night dinners, and we always make chicken. And really, well, it's not always chicken, but the meals in between making chicken are like the meals that we're wishing that we could have the roast chicken, because it's such crispy skin and it's so delicious. So that's sort of the crux of what I'm getting at, because Dad and I make roast chicken all the time. And we do some salt and we order chili and sometimes.
Just stop you crying, it's
What's happening? Hey guys. I'm so sorry, everybody. Want to apologize. I'm very sorry. I don't know why the song keeps playing. I really don't. I apologize, everybody. I think this is my fault, and I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry, Amelie. This is not my intention at all. Cool. That stopped. It's my bad. I knew it.
Netflix. Okay, so our second reading, should explain. So unless anybody wants to, I'll read it. So, oh yeah, okay. Thank you.
Luke 9, 28 to 36. Now about 8 days after these sayings, Jesus took with him Peter and John and James and went up on the mountain to pray. And while he was praying, the appearance of his face changed, and his clothes became as bright as a flash of lightning. Suddenly they saw two men, Moses and Elijah, talking to him. They appeared in glory and were speaking about his exodus, which he was about to fulfill in Jerusalem. Now Peter and his companions were weighed down with sleep, but as they awoke they saw his glory and the two men who stood with him. Just as they were leaving him, Peter said to Jesus, "Master, it is good for us to be here. Let us set up 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah," not realizing what he was saying. While he was saying this, a cloud came and overshadowed them, and they were terrified as they entered the cloud. Then from the cloud a voice that said, "This is my son, my chosen, listen to him." When the voice had spoken, Jesus was found alone, and they kept silent, and in those days told no one any of those things they had seen.
Thank you. So we tend to focus so much on the cross that we're a bit about glory. And this is the glory that made Isaiah tremble. It made the shepherds frightened at Bethlehem. And the glory that confused the disciples when Moses appeared with Jesus next to him at the Transfiguration. And this glory seems to threaten us, it frightens us. But we are taught to see God in the vulnerable and the forsaken, so the two don't quite marry. The glory of God made Moses conspicuous, so conspicuous he had to hide his face behind a veil. Yet through God's glory, Moses was given a mission of leadership and teaching. And the glory that we glimpse now in the Transfiguration takes us to Easter, where confusion, joy, and terror combine to dispel the gloom of death. In the episode of God's Favourite Idiot, if it's anything like how Moses or Jesus' face looked, it's no wonder people were afraid to go up to Moses, and that Peter didn't know what he was saying when he was talking to Jesus. I can't believe that none of you have seen this series. So it's on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for quite a while. I think there are 2 series. I think there's 2 series. But the first bit, where Amelie is trying to tell her colleagues that her co-worker has glowed, they clearly don't believe her. Now, for watershed reasons, I removed the first bit of it, which talks about her maybe being intoxicated, and so that's why they don't believe her. But I won't spoil it for those who are going to find it. But throughout the whole episode, the group of workers try and get Clark to glow. At one point, he's stood by a photocopier and they go, boom, really loudly. And so he jumps and falls over and they're just like, nope, because the colleagues just don't believe her. So it's not so surprising that Amelie is so relieved at the end episode when all of these people now see Clark glowing. And they actually, it's been videoed, so it goes viral, and everybody's seen it. Which then causes other issues, but I'll let you watch it. The end of the Luke passage says that the disciples were too frightened to tell anyone. But there's a slight little bit, it says, at the time they were too frightened to tell anyone, because clearly they told somebody, otherwise we wouldn't know who it was. I wonder how you would have told somebody about that. Maybe, if the lamp had worked, you would have used the example of a lamp being switched on. Moses and Jesus are not the only 2 people to be changed by an encounter with the living God. Every disciple of Jesus will have moments of transfiguration in their lives. Some are just more massive than others. The Transfiguration is a story about being changed, about being transformed. It's a story that shows that being transformed means you are able to stand and challenge others to be transformed. It's the story of when Jesus took his 3 closest friends to a mountain, and they had a shared experience of seeing Jesus standing between 2 of the greats of their people. Moses, to whom God had given the law to govern the people of Israel, and Elijah, through whom God had established a long line of prophets in Israel. Now, unless you are a fan of Professor McGonagall, I doubt you use the word transfiguration much in everyday speech. And if you don't know who Professor McGonagall is, then maybe you've lived under a rock, but it's Harry Potter and She Who Must Not Be Named. It's one of those church words that we don't use very often, and it's only used in the context of church, a bit like holy, Trinity, righteous, sanctify. If you look up the definition of transfiguration, it has 2 meanings. The first one is a change in form or appearance, and it also says metamorphosis, which comes from the Greek word, which is used in one of the gospel readings when they talk about a metamorphosized, sorry. And then the second one, an exalting, glorifying, or spiritual change. I looked for alternative words for transfiguration, or if you're really posh, a synonym. And I found changeover, conversion, metamorphosis, and transformation. So transfiguration is about change, adaptation, taking on a new shape or size or appearance. During our path along Christianity, we are constantly being transfigured more and more into the image of God. We are being made more and more loving, more and more compassionate, and more into the glory of God. The story of the Transfiguration tells the moment that Peter, James, and John perceive Jesus in a new way. No longer do they see him as the man from Nazareth. In this moment, they see him as filled to overflowing with divine glory. He was not simply the son of Joseph. He was now the divinely chosen, God-anointed, beloved son. This appearance was the affirmation of Jesus as the fulfillment of the law, which is why Moses was there, and the prophets, which is why Elijah was there. The whole phenomenon of the the Transfiguration was an affirmation of Jesus as the Messiah. For a moment, the glass, through which only half truth could be seen, was removed and the ultimate truth was revealed. The importance of the Transfiguration is that Jesus' true nature as the Son of God was disclosed and a promise of his future glory was given. The Transfiguration is confirmation of our faith. Was it just Jesus that was transformed at that moment? Or were the disciples transformed as well? They did change, it did take time, but these friends of Jesus ultimately became leaders among the followers of Jesus and spearheaded what we know as Christianity and the church movement we have now. The change that occurred in them spread widely, and they faced the challenge head-on, which is mirrored today in changes in our society. If you think about the changes that we've gone through as a society in the last 5 years, there was a global viral pandemic, I believe. I don't think anybody could have been hidden under a rock for that one. We have changed the way we do things because of that global pandemic. We now prioritise safety and care for the vulnerable. We sometimes wear masks. We sometimes sanitise our hands. Hopefully we all wash our hands. We still socially distance in some places. We've changed as a society. In the church generally, through the pandemic, we also changed how we gather, how we worship. We now have a partly live stream for our worship for those who can't make it in person. Transformation is happening. Change is taking place. Change is all around us. Some may say that change is the only constant in life. Sometimes we think that the church isn't changing, especially when it comes to LGBTQ+ issues. But that's not the case, because we exist. Our church is changing. It's just taking a long time, like the church movement took a long time after the Transfiguration of Jesus. Our society is changing. And the story of the Transfiguration of Jesus encourages us throughout this change. When we go into discussion now, we have a few questions that you may want to answer, talk about, 1, 2 or 3. We're going to split the group a little bit differently today, so I will get onto that in a minute. So the first question, how would you describe the Transfiguration of Jesus to a non-church goer? Would you have to see it to believe it, like Amelie's work colleagues? Is the Transfiguration story more about Jesus or the disciples who witnessed it? Do you have your own Transfiguration story? So those are our discussion questions. This is where we say goodbye to those of you online. I hope you have the chance to maybe think about these questions or discuss them, and if you want to write anything in the group chat, then that'd be great. See you next week.